The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Mary Magdalene stayed outside the tomb weeping. And as she wept, she bent over into the tomb and saw two angels in white sitting there, one at the head and one at the feet, where the body of Jesus had been. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" He said to them, "They have taken my Lord, and I don't know where they laid him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus there, but did not know it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" She thought it was the gardener, and said to him, "Sir, if you carried him away, tell me where you laid him, and I will take him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Stop holding on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and tell them, I am going to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and then reported what he had told her. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Please be seated.
There are beliefs about Mary Magdalene's past life, that she is a harlot, etc., all these things, the negative things, which I think a lot of us still hold on to, which is actually not the teaching of the church anymore. In a way, it's been an error because it's just an opinion of Pope Gregory the Great in the 6th century. He tried to make a composite out of the unidentified women whom Jesus healed, released from 7 demons, etc., and portrayed it to be Mary Magdalene. Since he's Pope and is very popular, even his opinion became dogma. 1,400 years after, the church changed that. So from the 6th century, that has been the opinion. In 1969, in the Second Vatican Council, the church changed it. Thanks to the new sciences of the day. So from the 6th century to the 20th century, fast forward, they used anthropology to debunk that idea. And there are 3 lessons from anthropology that we need to consider to be able to understand Mary Magdalene in John, in this exact gospel text that we have read. John chapter 20, verses 11 to 18. Number 1, Magdala is a troubled city. The anthropologists were trying to answer what could have motivated a person, the character Mary Magdalene in the gospel, to follow Jesus. She was born in a city called Magdala. Magdala is a port city. It is a very troubled city. People were at war with each other. In a situation where you are born in a city full of violence and the specter of war, you will be drawn to the message of peace. That is the first thesis to consider. That is the reason why Mary Magdalene joined Jesus. She liked the message of peace. Second, Magdala is a city where the Jews are there, they're living with Greeks, and they are governed by the Roman occupation. It's a very troubled city as well. It's fragmented, almost in disunity. So Mary of Magdala was attracted to the message of unity by Jesus himself, the possibility for us to be able to live together in peace. That is the second. And of course, the third one is the more empowering message of Jesus. He welcomed everybody into the fold, including sinners, including people from various backgrounds. That welcoming attitude of Jesus must have drawn Mary Magdalene to the Lord. Looking into the gospel itself, John 20, verses 11 to 18. What does Jesus say? So we approach it first externally from a science, second internally from the action of Jesus himself in the gospel. What does Jesus do to Mary Magdalene in the resurrection experience? Number one, she is not to be silent. The disciples were fearful and silent. They were even gone. They returned to their old habits. But Mary was not to be silent. Jesus told her, "Go and tell the brothers. Look for them. Speak to them about what you have experienced." That's the second. It's very related. You're not to be silent. Look for them. Tell them about what you have seen and heard. And last but not the least, she sent her, like the apostles, on a mission to the world to tell us. Jesus changed her way of loving Jesus himself. It is not to hold on. No, the best kind of loving is preaching. That is why perhaps in the tradition of the Dominican order, unlike the teaching before, the Dominican order has always placed Mary Magdalene at the center. Why? We have a special devotion to Mary Magdalene. Why? Because she is the first preacher of the resurrection. The 1969 Second Vatican Council must have influenced so much the Filipino Dominicans because we put up the Philippine Dominican province in 1971, 2 years after the conclusion of the Second Vatican Council. We made Mary Magdalene the patron saint of the new Dominican province that time, the province of the Philippines. This is in consonance with the tradition of the Dominican order worldwide, who value, who esteem so much Mary Magdalene. From John chapter 20, verses 11 to 18, this gospel. Because Christ the Lord had commanded her to be silent no more, to speak from her experience, to be the first preacher of the resurrection. May we who hear this good news, may we who celebrate Easter become preachers like Mary Magdalene of the life of the Lord.